Welcome, everybody, to Pro League on Tuesday. We are down here live in the Nexon Arena. My name is Valdez. Joined with me today, as always, is Moonglade. How are you doing today, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, as always, Valdez. I cannot wait for today. It's going to be a very exciting couple of matches. Not as high stakes as we'd hoped for a last sort of play day before the playoffs, but still, I mean, how can you complain when you got SKT1 Telecom versus CJ Ennis to kick things off?
Yeah, and both teams pretty much bringing their best rosters possible. One person who isn't playing today is Classic, actually. Sorry, coming in as the fourth player for SK Telecom here. But again, like you said, it's not the highest stakes, but it does matter a little bit here for CJ Ennis. If they do win tonight, they will grasp that second place spot. But SK Telecom T1 over here, way ahead in the lead here. First place in the entire league, 5-1 with a huge +12 indicator.
Yeah, they have so much room for error that they can come into this and just enjoy it more than anything else. Surely they'd want to win no matter what, you know, kind of show their dominance and get onto the playoffs in a good state of mind. And here we go with INnoVation versus Hush to start things off, which should be pretty interesting. They're putting out Hush. CJ obviously need this win, so they have something up their sleeve with this player.
Well, I mean, just looking at Hush, we've talked about him a little bit before. He is very strong in the PvP matchup, but he was put out on Catallena. I don't know if they were looking to snipe the Protoss here, but he's going up against a Terran. Is very Terran favorite map, Catallena is, and INnoVation being 5-0 so far here in the 2015 Pro League. He's looking primed to take this first win.
He is looking primed to take it. I mean, INnoVation 5-0 so far this season and looking to get at least one more on the cards. And yeah, as you were saying, Hush, he hasn't shown PvT this season. He's defeated only 2 players, and they were Protoss. And I'm just wondering, what does he have, what has he got planned for this matchup on Catallena, as you were saying? Not the best map for Protoss, not the best map at all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you take a look at his Pro League standings versus Terran, he is 3-6, so definitely not the best. They're only 33% win ratio. But again, he is 5-0 in his last 5 games here, so he's on a bit of a roll, but only 2 of those games being played here in 2015.
Yeah, and here we go with the rest of the matchups for this match. Sorry versus Hero on Overgrowth. That should also be a pretty curious one to follow. Dark versus Bial on Merry-Go-Round. And then Dream versus Byung on Foxtrot Labs with Deadwing as the ace. Remember that, Valdez. Let's not forget this time.
Yeah, let's not forget. Thinking about that 6th map, it's not coming to me right now. The other one that's not being played right here. Sejong, okay.
Yep.
There we go. So make sure we don't say Sejong. But yeah, again, just going into the first match here, INnoVation versus Hush. Both of them having the upwards red arrows, but INnoVation, he's played those last 5 games. Those last 5 wins were all in 2015.
Yeah, this kind of makes me worried for the arrow sort of indicator, but let's get into that a bit later. You go with these team rankings, Valdez.
Well, I mean, like we said before, SK Telecom T1 up on top by far with the +12 indicator, 5-1 so far, looking to get possibly 6-1. CJ Ennis here, if they do win, they will be tied with StarTale-yoe in wins and losses, but they'll have a better indicator point here, so they will get that second place spot ahead of StarTale-yoe. And that does matter to a certain extent.
It makes things a little bit easier going into the playoffs. You're going to have a little bit of an easier first match, and from there, hopefully, just going to ease your way in.
Yeah, I mean, if you get 3rd place, you're going to have to play possibly 3 games to go all the way to the end here in the finals and possibly win. Whereas if you're in 2nd, you only have to play 2 possible games. And just taking a look at our winners' rankings here, Zest, he grabs another loss yesterday.
5 losses, that's also the most amount of losses in the top 10 we have there. So I don't know how much it counts for anymore, Valdez. If we see INnoVation win his game, which I think he is pretty comfortable in doing so, he is going to take rank 1 with no losses. Yeah, and Dark, if he takes his win as well, which that one could be close. I did vote Dark there. He's going up against Biel in the 3rd match here today. But Dark is a very strong player. Would not be surprised if he also got a win and went up there to tie in 6 wins. Yeah, a lot of potential here, a lot of shifting in these winner rankings. Now, what does this say, Valdez?
I'm gonna try to see what's going on.
At the very least, follow us on Facebook with facebook.com/proleague.sc2. Make sure you guys follow it.
If you come to the studio, you can get a collector's edition of World of Warcraft Draenor. I guess that's the newest expansion. There are 100 beta keys, actually, for Heroes of the Storm, so that might be a little bit more interesting for you guys out there looking to try out that game. And there's also what's called, I guess, a culture coupon or something. A gift certificate, basically, to buy stuff here in Korea. But we're going to jump straight into this interview, guys, with IUL and the two coaches.
오늘 엔트리를 보니까 3테란이 출전합니다. 특별한 이유가 있죠.
So you put out 3 Terran players today. Any reason behind that?
한 가지 종족으로 이렇게 뭔가 특별한 의미를 부여한 게 아니라 박 감독님.
There's no particular reason behind that.
저희는 테란을 좀 많이 쓸 줄 알았는데.
Just saw the CJ entry.
태태전으로 좀 해볼까. 좀 그런
And I thought
생각을 많이 했는데.
They were going to send out a lot of Terran players.
다르게 나왔어요.
And we wanted to play TVT today.
그래도
But he changed his roster, so I'm a little surprised about that. But all the Terran players on our team play well against other races, so it's going to be okay.
좋은 분위기를 이끌고 있는 만큼 멋진 경기 부탁드리겠습니다. 네, CJ 엔투스도 지금 좋은 분위기를 유지하고 있는데요. 1위를 하다가 1위를 뺏기면서
So you guys were in first place, CJ Entus, in the beginning of round 1.
굉장히 많이 거의 그 부분에 대해서 안타깝고 저뿐만 아니라 저희 선수들도
He says he's a bit disappointed that they're now in third place.
생각을 하고 있습니다. 하지만
And also our fans are a little bit disappointed about that as well.
영광은 라운드 우승에게 돌아갔기 때문에 정규 시즌 1위도 중요하지만 저희가 기회가
But the important thing here is to become the champion of the entire round 1. So he says it's more important to just get into the playoffs and win the entire championship there.
아유씨가 외국어 4개 정도 하신다고. 그래서 제가 부탁 하나
He heard that IUL
어떤 부탁이요?
knows how to speak 4 different languages, something I actually didn't even know either.
저희 프로리그 자체도
And he says there's a lot of foreign fans that came to the studio today, and a lot of foreign fans like to watch Pro League. So can you say hello to those foreign fans?
인터뷰를 굉장히 잘 이끄시는 것 같아요, 감독님. 네, 그러면 짧게 하도록 하겠습니다.
She says you're the reporter right now.
Here we have the last match before playoff, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. 请大家多多观看 SPL， 谢谢。
Wow, she's actually going for it.
여러분은 지금 세계로 뻗어나가고 있는 프로리그를 시청하고 계십니다. 많은 팬분들께서 응원하고 있는데요.
You guys are watching Pro League all over the world, and a lot of people are cheering for it and looking to see who's going to get the win today.
너무 잘하셨고요. 제가 알아듣지는 못했는데.
CJ coach says you are actually really good. He didn't quite understand, but he could tell that she was quite good.
항상 어려움은 저에게 있는 것 같아요.
Oh, we got some foreign fans.
Hello there, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming down, buddy. Hope you enjoy the show. It's going to be a good one, no doubt about that. As we get ready to jump into the first match, which is going to be INnoVation versus Hush on Catallena.
Yeah, man, I am so excited to get into this first matchup here, especially SKT Telecom up against, or SK Telecom T1 rather, up against CJ Entus here. That's probably 2 of the best teams we could have actually brought together and had play, especially at the end of round 1 here, after getting to see them really flesh out their entire rosters and just like show all their players and stuff. And now we actually are getting a feel for where these teams are and how they're doing here in 2015.
That is exactly right. And we just heard the Blizzard staff came today, and they're going to be buying pizza. Let's hope we get some, though, because I'm fiending for some pizza, Valdez. It's been a while.
I hope so, man. I want to eat some pizza.
Yeah, man. But I don't think we're going to get any nut up here in our little booth that's shut away from everything in the studio. We have no idea what goes on out there.
But it's good that a lot of people came today, especially from all over the world, especially because I noticed as well we do have a lot of foreign fans that came.
Oh, we do.
And Greencast are holding up something there. I think that may have been a collectible something. Not exactly sure. But like we said before, there's a lot of events coming down here towards the end of round 1. So you guys can come down to the studio. I saw a post on Reddit actually about one guy coming down to Korea soon. You guys should follow that guy's example and come down and watch all the different leagues and just have fun. Korea's a great place.
Yeah, it's a great place to visit. Maybe in a month or two when it warms up just a little bit more, though. It is
it's cold.
Still, in my opinion, far too cold to live. I find myself questioning how they've survived this long in this cold.
Moonglade actually hibernates until he comes to work, and then he goes back home and hibernates.
Yeah, this is how I get Grandmaster in Korea, Brendan. I just stay in all the time. And here we go with the introductions. INnoVation, 5-0, 10-12 against Protoss overall. But let's have a look at who is defeated so far this season. Hurricane, Myungshik, and SOS for Protoss alone, and TY and Center for Terran. So he's been showing himself in TVP this season. He's very versed in it. He loves to pull the boys when he gets that chance. And maybe he'll have that chance on Catallena against this player, Valdez.
Yep, Hush. We talked a lot about this guy. He is specifically a PvP sniper. We see he's played only 2 games here. They were both against Protoss. This guy loves to play against Protoss. Maybe he was expecting to see a Protoss out on Catallena. I'm not exactly sure. But we're going to get to see his PvT here today, which I'm especially excited to see, especially against a guy like INnoVation, who nowadays looks untouchable.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I feel like maybe they were trying to... Maybe INnoVation was trying to snipe a Protoss, for instance. I don't know. It's kind of hard, but they're going to throw out Hush. It's going to be really throwing into the mix someone that no one expected to come out.
Yeah, man. Well, let's get into game number 1 here. It is INnoVation versus Hush. Down here in the bottom right in the red, it's INnoVation of SK Telecom 2-1.
That was pure passion. And here at the 9 o'clock position, we do have Hush for CJ. Hush.
Be quiet.
Be quiet. He is playing. Is probably why he calls himself Hush. He gets angry in the game house when everyone's talking behind his back.
Yeah.
And he just wants to focus.
Something you were laughing about, actually, before the game started, he was typing in the chat, a lot like Zest. Both of them do not like bright lights in their face while they're playing, so they every single time they come out, they ask for the lights to be dimmed a bit.
Oh, right. That's pretty funny.
I remember Zest one time was arguing with the producer. He was like, can you please put down the lights? And the guy's like, no, we already put them down. And he's like, no, I swear. No, I need it even more. It's not the same.
It's like, sorry, Zest, but you are way too damn handsome to have that light any dimmer.
We need to see you while you're playing. That's the point, Zest.
Yeah, it's pretty much half your product right there, man. I don't care if you're the best Protoss in the world. That chiseled feature must be shown. And we are going to be seeing a gas first to start things off with INnoVation. So very aggressive build. It's going to have to make stuff happen with it. And we are going to see a normal sort of gateway timing. 13 gate for Hush.
Yeah, probably just going into that, very, very standard fast expand off of 1 gate, 1 gas. Whereas I guess INnoVation is going to try to punish it here. Maybe going to try to go for some drops, possibly Widow Mines coming into the mix as well. Says it's his birthday, and so he came down to Pro League to watch.
Well, he is in Gangnam, so he can go out and party afterwards. So it's actually pretty good timing when you think about it. Perfect time for a birthday party.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get a first-person view at the start of the game. We're going to see how these guys select their units.
How they spam on the SCVs. You see INnoVation likes to do half and half. You see that there?
I can actually
not the entire mineral line.
I can actually go both ways. I can go from top left down to bot, and then from bottom right to the top left. Yeah, man, it's one of my tricks.
Whoa.
It's actually one of my tricks.
That is really impressive. I want to see you do that,
It's actually more impressive than my Zerg. It's just the way I can select my drones.
Yeah, you guys can go check out Moonglade on his stream. He likes to stream sometimes.
Yeah, I love to stream.
You can see the way that he selects his units.
I make it a
is
thing.
very important.
It's one of my ways in, one of my lures into my stream is you can get to see that.
Yeah.
As we see, the factory nears finishing. I think it'll have to be a mine drop when I think about it, like marine mine. Probably go for the ramp, try and cut one of the bases off, force out the photon overcharge, and try and get some probe kills. It is usually the way of things, as we see that starport next in line, and Widow Mine production begins.
Yeah, not too surprising here. We're going to get to see, firsthand how exactly Hush is going to be able to stop this, how good he is at actually stopping the shenanigans from the Terran that they always like to throw at the Protoss early on.
Especially on this map, Valdez. I mean, it is such a good drop map. There's so much airspace behind the main base as well as behind the natural. There's a lot of sort of ways in, including even a ledge you can jump on with a Reaper in the early game. But we're going to be going past that point. And we are seeing the Mothership Core come out, look for a scout. We do see Marines kind of positioning themselves, maybe looking for this Mothership Core, which would be such a victory in itself.
Yeah, man, 3 Marines can do that work, and they've found it. Smokes, of course, are going to have to run away.
Oh, wow.
Already taking a bunch of damage in his shields.
This is such a good move from INnoVation. This is so smart. He's going to find high ground, which is going to avoid being caught out. But still, it stops any sort of scouting at all.
Oh, man, you got to be careful with that Hush.
Oh, wow.
It's getting so low.
Oh, it's going to go down. Oh, isn't that 1 HP? 1 HP. Oh, INnoVation.
And it gets away.
INnoVation didn't chase.
He could have actually gotten that, I think.
Oh, my goodness. 1 HP.
Okay, well, here we go. The drop's already coming his way. We saw Hush trying to get the scout on because he saw no Reaper. He's like, what exactly are you going for?
Well, maybe the dropship can get it. Medivacs come in. They're going for the drop. Photon Overcharge activates in the main base. Wouldn't mind survives, but in such an awkward position.
Already 3 Stalkers out here. Can do a decent job. That Medivac is helping out so much in the trading, though. And actually losing 1 Stalker is Hush now. Good job by Hush, though. He has not transferred to that natural just yet. Otherwise, he may have taken a lot of probes and damage.
Yeah.
Only 4 probes going down so far.
5. Looks like a little bit of damage. Not too bad. He's saved half his units as well. And Hush will stabilize for now. Still maintaining this Mothership Core that has 1 HP and then 50 shields now. Unbelievable that he kept it alive. I think the game could have ended, or at least Hush would have taken so much damage if he didn't have that Photon Overcharge. So a little bit of a slip up there from INnoVation. Perhaps thinking the Mothership Core would have died without his need of micro. Instead, gets away on that 1 HP.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And we do have a follow-up drop, this time with 2 mines. How many observers do we have out now? We have 2.
We do have 2. And
he's making a 3rd one at the same time. He
Yeah.
knows that follow-up pressure is going to come.
1 is in the main, and the other one I think is in the natural. Oh no, it's in the main base of the Terran.
Uh-oh. Okay, so 2 mines go down here. 4 Marines with that Medivac are trading pretty decently here, but the warp gear research is done. He's going to warp in 1 more Stalker and going to force us back. Another follow-up drop at the natural is going to be cleaned up pretty easily
big
here.
mistake from Hush as well in the main base. Stalker's got too close and he lost the Stalker to the Widow Mine. And he's trying to take down that Medivac in the main, and he gets it.
Ooh, nice. Even before Blink is done.
Yep.
So, I mean, arguably, even losing 1 Stalker, he's still able to get that Medivac with some units in it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, he managed to pretty much clean up both drops, so Hush is stabilizing pretty well at this point. He really hasn't taken much critical damage at all, and, his probe count is healthy. Currently 45 to the 33 of INnoVation. Hush is in a great position.
Yeah, I mean, with those drops, the first one did some economic damage, got 5 probes, but the second one didn't really at all. I think maybe only 1 probe went down. And now we do see that observer did see the Medivac. The blink is not yet done, but he definitely does have units here in the main.
Yeah, he does. He's going to go for that drop anyway. Oh, great focus down. Going into the natural. Ooh.
And a follow-up drop coming in at the natural. He's got to pull those probes. Nicely done. Does not lose a single one. Does force those probes off the mining, I guess. That is a small victory.
Yeah, still does a lot of damage in terms of economy, really slowing down your intake. At a pretty critical time for the Protoss. They're trying to get out their Colossi. They're trying to gear up to get that 3rd base. So every little bit counts. Every little sort of advantage INnoVation could get right now is pretty important.
Double forge for the follow-up here. We do have finally that robotics bay down, and he has begun production on his first Colossus.
Yep, as well as thermal lance. And I love this follow-up. Ooh. Does not want to lose this. He really needs us to kind of keep the Terran in his base. for as long as possible. Thankfully, luckily for Hush, no stim available just yet.
With the build that INnoVation did go for, of course, the stim will be slightly delayed here.
And yeah, as I was going to say, the double upgrades is a great sort of follow-up. Hush is like really on point. He's managed to stabilize to the point where he's got Colossi out, he's got Blink finished. Every drop has been cleaned up except for one that was chasing the Warp Prism. So he can move out in the map now with these Stalkers and start applying pressure, even getting rid of a turret. And now he's going to be trying to focus down this Medivac for starters.
He's going to get it and blinks away.
Wow.
Hush showing some pretty decent PvT so far, I have to say.
He's showing some good PvT considering we have not seen it all season long. Adding 4 more gateways now. And he is going to go for that third base.
Yeah, we do have 3 medevacs out on the map now with some units in them trying to go for another drop. But Hush, he seems pretty covered. He's got that observer in a great position towards the back of his base. But it looks like it will miss it just barely.
Yeah.
And all the Stalkers are at the front, actually, trying to poke down this bunker.
This is a big move. There's not much here. There's only 2 Colossi and a Mothership Core. Against that many Marauders, they can just gun them down.
Oh, those Colossi have to be so careful. You can't be losing them right now. One getting pretty low here, and the follow-up trying to get another one. Goes for the second one. Really nice micro out of Hush, actually. He's going to try to drop now onto those Colossi.
Oh, wow. I don't know about this. He might be able to get one. Oh, no. 5 HP remains on that Colossi. He wants to drop that Marauder down, but it will get one shot.
Oh, man.
The other Colossi is on about 77 HP.
And INnoVation lost a bunch of units there. Those Colossi are going to be able to regen their shields. And he's going to have the +1/+1 here. We do see Husk going for that third base, though, so not going to try to end game just yet. Just going to try to stay safe here.
Stay safe
on those 3 bases.
Yeah, maintain a lead. He is quite ahead at this point. The third orbital finally is finished for INnoVation, so he will be looking to take that. But Hush has stabilized in every single form, going for 2-2 now. Composition is fantastic. And yeah, he is in a great position at this part of the game.
To see INnoVation trying to move out on the map once again. Just in front of his third base for now. Starting to build up that Viking count just 2 at a time. Not a huge commitment to it just yet. We do see a couple of drops possibly heading towards that third base location. A bunch of Stalkers, just 8 here. A good amount for sniping air units out on the map.
And it's getting kind of to the point we have seen some Protosses fall apart at this part of the game. When it comes to Viking versus Colossi, there's so many heals and awkward positions to be in with these Colossus that you can just get them sniped down when you're not paying attention. And we do see, you know, in the middle of the map, we do see INnoVation's units kind of moving around, looking for stuff, drop into the main base as this third is about to be attacked, and everything is out of position except for 2 Colossi moving towards it.
He goes for the pylon first. He's going for the Nexus now, taking a lot of damage. And here we go with the drop in the main at the same time. Going to be looking to snipe out some Colossi with all those Vikings. He gets one. The second one could go down in a minute here as well. He's going to get the second one. And just get out of there with the majority of his Vikings.
Yeah, he pretty much saves all his Vikings. No target fire whatsoever. Nothing to really help out these Colossi. They had to get rid of those bio units first. And I think that's a pretty huge victory for INnoVation. If you can do that much damage to the Colossi count, half the amount of Colossi, it's going to make your next push a lot easier and make you a lot less stressed to get enough Vikings to deal with it.
Of course, of course. I do see neither of the gases taken at that third base just yet. Although he is pretty heavily saturated in his minerals, actually, compared to his gas. May want to take those gases in just a bit here. May have forgotten about it.
It looks like he's pretty happy just staying on 4 gas for now. I think it is really just going to be about the charge lots with the Colossi support. He isn't really investing into the late game just yet. And he's even adding a 4th base before he gets that 5th and 6th gas. So it kind of leads me to believe, yeah, he is really just sticking to like maybe 1 Robo Colossi while he makes just a ton of Zealots to go with this army.
I'm just curious about this, though, because he did make that Templar Archives, and he just has not used it yet. He has made no High Templar. He's not getting Storm. And with that extra gas, he definitely would have been able to, especially with the +3/+3 starting now. I guess maybe he'll just avoid it for now. Maybe take those gases in a bit, like we were saying, the 4th base and some extra Zealots. Also, decent strategy that the Protoss can use at this point.
Yeah, we have seen this kind of style before. We have seen Protoss do pretty well with it as well. You just have like such a flood of Zealots more than anything else, and great reinforcement. Very easy to remax. And we do see...
like this.
Yeah, exactly. That is a sickening amount of Zealots just in an instant.
That's disgusting.
That's an easy, like... How many supply is that? That is 20 supply in an instant. And they're 2-2 going on to 3-3. There's going to be a nice big window where there is a 3-3 advantage for Hush to really make some damage happen.
+3, about halfway done here for the Protoss. Going to be looking to possibly fight once that ends, especially because the Terran is only going to be on 2-2 once that does end. See the Stalkers out on the map. Doing a decent job so far is Hush, being very active with his Blink Stalker so far. Has stopped at 8. Just looking to get as much damage done with that as possible.
Yeah, it's kind of a scary thing because there's going to be a lot of Vikings and there's nothing really else to fight. Oh, there we go. There's the rest of them. So we do have actually about 15 Stalkers all up in this army, which should be more than enough to kind of focus down these Vikings when the time comes. Something that's going to be very important because there's not really much else. There's no Storms. There's no Archons. Nothing else is going to keep these Colossus alive except for these Stalkers. And now, some of them are actually getting focused down. Bit of a micro blunder here from Hush. And now Hush is in a really awkward position. Vikings are getting a lot of free shots off on these Colossi, and he's going to have to fight in a choke. This is exactly where he does not want to be.
Yeah, the Zealots not getting the greatest around here, but the +3/+3 does finish up here. And those Zealots are so strong, even with just Gateway units doing a decent job so far. But we do have the reinforcements coming out here for INnoVation, and all those Colossi are down now.
Yeah, it looks like that just might be too much for INnoVation at this point. Just enough Medivacs to keep everything alive, and there's so many Marauders.
A lot of Marauders. We do have Hush on 4 base with a lot of gateways, but just barely, maybe not going to be enough.
Oh, it is so close, so back and forth. We are seeing a supply lead for INnoVation, up about 20 supply at this point. He is hiding as well.
He's got a lot of units back at his base, running across the map. You know, Catallena, not the smallest map in the pool, of course, so, you know, if INnoVation was fighting with his entire army right now, he may have just been able to end it there, but for now he is just going to take a decently even fight. He did reset that Colossus count, of course, but at the same time, all those Vikings did go down.
Yeah,
so kind of resetting the...
it really resets the compositions more for anything for both players. And we are seeing now Colossi added once again for Hush at a pretty crucial time. He's going to have a nice composition advantage once he's got a few more units to kind of buffer for them against his massive Bioforce. And we're only seeing Medivacs being made from INnoVation for now, and finally, Viking counts begun again.
It's looking like Hush is going to try to go for a huge drop on the main here. Try to just force INnoVation back, try to relieve some pressure. But at the same time, INnoVation is dropping at this 4th base, and there's no defense here.
Yeah, there's nothing here. He's going to need a massive warp in this one pylon. If INnoVation doesn't focus it down, maybe there's a chance he can defend against this, but he's just going to let all these probes go.
Looks like he's just going to let it go, and at the same time, a huge drop coming into the main. All of Hush's army out of position, having to run all the way back here. Seems like the warp-in did come in there at the top, actually, to defend, but a little bit too late.
A little bit too late, and it's only Stalkers and a Colossus. This is not the best kind of composition to deal with a mass Marauder drop. I think they might even be able to win this fight, Valdez.
Yeah, looks like they're going to push forward and possibly even snipe out that Colossus, getting so low once again.
Ooh.
But here we go, a huge Zealot warp-in here at the 3rd base of INnoVation. INnoVation not responding best so far. 6 SCVs going down as he finally does come back to defend that. And now some free Stalkers out here given away by Hush.
Yeah, it's getting pretty scrappy, Valdez, but still, INnoVation remains in the lead. Up 30 supply. His 3-3 has just about finished. His armor is just a few seconds away. And it's going to really level the playing field once again.
Finally, that War Prism. Hush does realize that it is still out on the map. I wonder if he'll go for a big warp in the main or if he's just going to use it right now for defense. He doesn't have the biggest bank, as you guys see up there in the top right, for making units so far, so it's going to be pretty hard to go for a huge warp in the main just yet, unless he saves up.
Yeah, losing that 4th base is just way too big. It really cripples him at this point, and now we see INnoVation on 4 bases with a planetary guarding that 4th.
Oh, no.
Oh, and a clutch Widowmine in the middle of nowhere claims that Warp Prism.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really smart Widowmine out of INnoVation. He knew that, that is a possibility out of the Protoss to go for some kind of Warp Prism harass in the back, in the main, and that's so annoying on Catallena where you have so much dead airspace back there. So really, really nice positioning there. Able to snipe out that Warp Prism.
Oh, he's going to go down. He's going to take down the Planetary, but Ad will get the recall out. It's going to cost him 1 Archon out of position and a few Zealots, but still, very important kill for Hush. He had to make that happen.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Especially since he is getting his 4th base up at the same time. But now I'm just scared for Hush on this counter push because 11 Vikings and a huge Bio Ball.
Yeah.
And all Hush has is, well, it's going to be 4 Colossi by the time that hits.
If he had some Storm with this army, maybe I'd give him a little bit better odds. But still, when you're down 73 supply, there is not much hope whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not looking good here for Hush. We'll see if he can somehow scrape together some form of a defense. Right now for the Terran, he has caught up in upgrades. He is 3-3 as well. So no upgrade advantage at this point in time.
Yeah, but he's going to start poking at the Vikings, getting a few before any sort of engagement begins, which could really help out, but still a very awkward position, and we are seeing the Mules go down already. It feels like INnoVation knows that he has won this, and with that many Marauders, I must say he has.
That he has. The last Colossus about to go down, and it does. And INnoVation looking primed to get his 6th win here at Pro League. GG.
And there he goes, claiming rank 1 in the winners' rankings without a single loss this season.
Yeah, man. Hush was putting up a bit of a fight, but in the end there, INnoVation showing why he is undefeated here. This guy just looks untouchable, man.
A valiant effort from Hush, though. You know what? He actually gave him a really good game. Something I was not expecting, and very back and forth, very intense.
Yeah, really interesting style as well, just going for a very strong Gateway army rather than going for the Storm.
I feel like it'd be better on other maps, like Deadwing or something. Something a little bit more open for more Zealots to get a bit of a bigger wraparound when they go into the fight. When you're like, every fight we saw